As you just heard from Coach Carroll, we are taking time this week to celebrate and congratulate Steve. He is leaving Cairo 7 after 38 years. Now, during that time, so much has changed in Seattle and Western Washington. And Dave Wagner joins us now with a look at some of the major stories that Steve's covered.
You know, Monique, Steve has been here at Cairo 7 since man discovered fire. He's seen a lot over the past 4 decades. Those of us lucky enough to work with him have seen his passion for news and his push to get it right. He is a walking time capsule of style, stories,
Never touched a tarantula before.
and sports from the past 40 years.
Holy catfish!
An unflinching voice through happiness
Touchdown! Seahawks!
and heartbreak.
And good evening. I'm Steve Raible, live at the Cascade Mall in Burlington. On Friday night, it was the scene of a devastating shooting inside the Macy's department store.
From mass shootings to devastating fires.
And then for the rest of the evening and into the early hours, there will be a fire watch here. The entire scene will be secured so then investigators can go in. The Pang Warehouse fire, where 4 brave Seattle firefighters died back in the 90s, was one that was most difficult for all of us. And yet the healing part of bringing the city together for their memorial service was something I'll never forget.
I can't believe what what this is going to do to Seattle music scene.
In 1994, it was the death of Nirvana frontman Kurt Cobain that sent shockwaves through Seattle. In 1999, Steve anchored Cairo 7's coverage of the World Trade Organization protests.
There are those stories that you have to tell as well.
Investigators connected to the Green River murder case believe it may finally be solved with the arrest of Gary Ridgway.
Things like Green River Killer and earthquakes.
Earthquake, get on the air now, get on the air, let's go.
Steve shined during breaking news.
The look on your face, it mirrored what a lot of us were feeling in that instant.
In the 1980s, Steve was rocking a stash and a perm
So your appearance?
when Ronald Reagan launched a new campaign slogan.
To make America great again.
And he was at the anchor desk nearly 4 decades later when our current president used the same line.
And we will make America great again.
But it was a political moment in 2008 that left a lasting impression.
I believe it was on CNN, and they just flashed that they were calling the presidential election for Barack Obama.
CNN can now project that Barack Obama, 47 years old, will become the president-elect of the United States.
That moment in history that you have a chance to be a part of, and that you have a chance to just sit back and take in and say, I'm watching something here that we have never seen before. And what a remarkable moment that was.
Thank you for welcoming us to the White House. We appreciate it.
7 years later, Steve was interviewing Barack Obama.
How are your Seahawks looking?
As Steve entered his last months at Cairo 7, a pandemic, a recession, and unrest would take center stage. As he has for nearly 4 decades, Steve leaves us with some sage perspective.
I think the key for all of those stories, from my standpoint, was be honest with the viewers. Give them your best information at hand and just be straight with them. Tell them at some point we're going to get through this. We're going to get past this. And we hope that we've done our job that way.
That's our Steve Raible there. Steve, I want you to know that I've taken some cues from you over the past 3 months that you've been at home and created an exact replica of your home set right here. Over my left is the little boy portrait over here. Wow. That looks a little bit like a girl. And over here is the unicorn tapestry. It screams erudite. It screams Renaissance man. And I want you to know that I will proudly continue that tradition while you're gone here. You know, Steve, while it may not have always shown on the football field out there, you've told me you were a standout runner at Georgia Tech. Steve is quick on his feet, no doubt, and that showed during our breaking news coverage. He loves news, but he loves his wife, Sharon, most of all. She comes first in his life. And now, like it or not, she's going to get even more attention from Steve. So congratulations. And Sharon, when you need a break from him, you are welcome here anytime. This place right here looks and feels just like home. Hey, Steve.
Well, I just don't know quite where to begin, Dave. The starting with the as old as fire line was probably enough to get me. Here, let me we've got this because it looks like you, Dave.
Aw.
He looks like you.
Thank you, Papa.
And Sharon says thank you for thinking of her. Thank you for thinking of her, and we're thinking of Judy and everybody during these times right now. It's difficult. I will miss a lot of people there, Dave. Honest to goodness, this is coming from the heart. I will miss a lot of people at Cairo. You won't be one of them.
I'll think of you every time I look at this tapestry and this little boy picture over here, Steve. Thanks. And we continue our tribute
Great.
to Steve
Okay.
all this week from 5 to 6:30 p.m., as well as Thank You, Steve, Raible's retirement special. That's tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. You can also share your messages for Steve on social media with hashtag Thank You, Steve.